Alright, hello. So I thought a good thing to get used to the universal render pipeline in Unity would be going through and making a custom post-process effect. So what I actually have right now, I actually don't remember what I have right now. This was a little benchmark I had set up. I just don't remember the exact options. So this is the little scene I made for benchmarking the universal render pipeline. Why does it say no cameras rendering? What? Oh, I have custom post enabled. I forgot about this. Oh yeah, this was a bug I found. I think there's a way to turn off that no cameras rendering. Okay, so we get around 230 FPS on this fly through of the scene. Is there any way we can get a higher FPS? That's actually weird. That seems like that's lower FPS. I could swear that's actually lower FPS than the last time I ran this. Oh, I bet it's because I'm streaming. Oh, yeah. It's definitely because I'm streaming. Just to be sure though, let me try turning all of this off. Eh, 250, 260. Anyways, that's our benchmark. What we're going to try to do is create a custom post-processing effect that applies a shader over the screen. I already set up this little thing a while ago, but it has an issue. It says camera not rendering when it's enabled. I think there's a way to turn this off, but editor camera already has render stack. Oh, this is buggy. So what am I doing? End frame rendering. So what I should be doing is camera rendering. And then only apply it if it's my target camera. That's weird, it doesn't work now. And how do I detect the render texture format? I don't need to Google Unity get default render texture format. This is kind of what I'm looking for, converting Unity on render image to URP. No, that's not it. I don't get this. It's executing, but Blit isn't actually working. Let's see if we can find anyone who has the same error. Alright, so apparently render feature is the better way of doing this. I did not find that in the documentation when I searched up. You know what, they haven't even documented how to do universal render pipeline custom render feature. Is this in the documentation? My editor shows me a bunch of errors. Huh, this should be entertaining. How to add a renderer feature. It shows you how to add pre-made ones. It doesn't show you, so there literally isn't documentation on how to make your own. Oh my god, it's actually undocumented. Oh my god. Alright, well, let's try to do this. I need to kind of organize this, not put everything in one big folder. So someone said there was a render feature option under here. Renderer feature. Custom render pass feature. This method is called before executing the render pass. It can be used to configure render targets and their clear state, also to create temporary render target render targets. When you empty this render pass, will clear the active camera render target. Will render to the active camera render target. You should never call command buffer set render target. Instead, call configure target, configure clear. The render pipeline will ensure target setup and clearing happens in performance manner. Implement render logic. Use scriptable render context to issue drawing calls. You don't have to call submit. The render pipeline will call it. Clean up any allocated resources. Configure where render pass should be ejected. After rendering opaques. I think after post-processing. I'll probably want to mess with that. And I guess other options. Eject one or more multiple render passes is called. Set up the render per camera. Is it? Okay, the documentation is here. Event in the URP queue. Setting that lets you configure which object this render feature renders. It's in the shader. When rendering an object, replaces this. Alright, let's try putting our blit code in here. I still don't completely understand this. I think I need an example. Renderer feature example. Objects. Okay. That doesn't actually show you how to code your own scriptable render feature. Temporary render target. Yeah, this is actually exactly what I want. So this render texture descriptor is what I was asking about the camera render texture format before. This gets temporary render target. Blitz. To our temp texture from the camera color target identifier. Camera's color target so that it gets passed to it. Wait, what? There's no way that they give you this pass for doing post-processing and then they don't set it up so that you can get the color texture. There is not a lot of documentation on this. Alright, so I don't get why this guy renders back again. This isn't efficient. They said that the reason for doing this is because it's a performance effective. but it's not. The effective way would be to provide 2 flipping frame buffers so that you don't blip back and forth twice. That's not efficient. They lied about saying that this was for a performance manner. I'm also confused, like, why does this end camera rendering not work? For everything I can see, like, it should blip to the screen and it should work. I need to figure out how to disable this. Warn if no camera's rendering. Oh my god. There we go. There's literally an option for it. I remember. Alright. Why does this not work? Why is it black? I guess I should just look this up. Unity end camera rendering lit doesn't work. This don't make any goddamn sense. So it just doesn't work when I do end camera rendering. I bet if I go into the universal render pipeline source code, I can find the bug that is causing why this is happening. I bet they're calling end camera rendering like before they clear the screen or something like that. Or maybe after context submit, so that my command buffer isn't being executed in the right order. Because like other people on Google said that their blit wasn't working. So let's go into the render loop. Let's go to where it calls end camera rendering. Honestly, it seems like it worked. Wait, this actually doesn't seem to make sense. So render camera stack. End frame rendering. End camera rendering. Maybe ours is under render camera stack. End camera rendering, and then after that get universal additional camera data, huh. I don't see actually how this render single camera could affect it. Because this does seem to be good. Execute command buffer, release, submit. Maybe it's literally not submitting. Maybe it's not submitting. But that wouldn't explain graphics.blit not working either. Wow. Huh. Oh my god. I wonder if this is the actual fix. Set global texture. I wonder if for whatever reason it's not setting buffer. Nope, not it. Huh. Yeah, you know what? I actually think that it's just like not supposed to be that way. I'm wondering though, so I'm allocating a buffer right here, but that might actually be my issue, is the way Universal Render Pipeline wants to work is it wants to render to its own internal back buffer for the post-processing. So I want to see if we can access that. Let's see if that works. Oh my god, it works. Whoa. Okay, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night and I literally can't keep my eyes open. God damn it. I'm so happy I got this though. So now is the good question. So this is 230 FPS. So without my custom post processing, it's 230 FPS. 200. Yeah, so my custom post processing of just blitting doesn't cost any FPS. That's actually great. That's actually really good. So that's all I need, is just to apply a custom blit afterwards. I do want to try to do this with the custom render pass feature, just to see how this works. So like I could just make this an after rendering, and then I think I can just blit to the screen just like I did here. Basically just do the same thing. Blit to the screen. Execute the command buffer with the context. We don't need to configure anything. And where do we add that? Under... Custom render pass feature. How do we tell if it's executing our custom render pass? We do nothing. Does it automatically blit to the screen? I should also put some post effect on here from the built-in post-processing. Okay, this is really weird. I actually get plus 30 FPS when I do my own rendering. That doesn't make sense. Why does it give you 30 FPS when you add something? Hey, Unicomp. Alright, so let's add bloom or something, or Really bad chromatic aberration. Oh, this is a really bad chromatic aberration effect. It's literally just perspective and doesn't give you any options over it. This is kind of good to just look through all these too. I don't know why, but this seems, oh! So the bokeh seems to actually be accurate depth of field. This Gaussian does not seem to be good. The Gaussian seems to be like focused on very close range. And there's like a max blur amount, it looks like. Yeah. Good post-processing effects start from 16 times texture reading per pixel for 2015 year GPU, almost 25% of frame and 60 FPS. Yeah. Yeah, post-processing is super expensive. And this is actually a really bad effect. I don't know if you can see, there's actually a line where the depth of field begins. It's not well made. Hopefully the bokeh is better. Focus distance. Okay, this bokeh is actually pretty good depth of field. Let's see how much of an FPS drop it gives. Oh my god. It doesn't cost any FPS. So, that scares me. That makes me think... Okay, actually, first of all, I think this FPS reading is wrong. I think the editor just clamps my FPS. So I don't have an actual good measurement. I think I need to build the game to actually test this FPS value effectively. But it doesn't bring the FPS below, it could be using bitmap blur that does not cost anything because bitmaps generate. Anyway, yeah, see the bokeh, the Gaussian I can understand that for, but the bokeh it has to do some advanced sampling for the bokeh. Although now that I look at this, this doesn't really look like bokeh sampling. You could be right. So what doesn't make sense is like, does this blit to the screen anyways? I feel like this render feature or something doesn't work with post effects, but no, it's working. It's hard for me to tell. I feel like it's applying this afterwards. Let me try. I'll just try doing clearing, and then we'll see if it's... Alright, clears the screen to red. That's good. If it shows the bokeh, an actual scene, it's bad. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's actually rendering... The render feature is supposed to be designed intelligently for you so that automatically renders to the screen at the end of all of this. But then the issue is it doesn't give you like a swap chain of swapping between different post-processing buffers. So I guess that forces me to actually see. This is the thing I hate about this. They could handle the swap buffers for you automatically here, or you could like say that you want. I guess the whole idea is that if you use this temporary render target system, they optimize this so it's only using like the minimal amount of textures. But it's like, at the same time, I feel like this isn't the best performance way. Copy this. I don't understand how this works. Do you create the temp texture at all? It's just temp texture is automatically maybe given a custom ID? Or does it output? I don't understand how this temporary texture identifies... Okay, I gotta look up. I feel like this tutorial isn't using render target handle correctly. Maybe I just don't understand it. It might automatically initialize ID for you, but... There is literally no documentation. It does not explain what render target handle is. Classic Unity. What is render target handle? Wait, what? Temp texture dot... This guy should be calling temp texture dot init somewhere. think you know how Shader Toy do swap or double buffering for FBO. They switch 2 frame buffers per channel every frame and render it reading previous frame buffer that not rendered this frame. Yeah. Shader Toys... I can't remember actually if that's exactly how it works. So this is really interesting. Render target. Okay, I gotta look at how to use get temporary RT and command buffer. That's the main thing I gotta look at. And sets it up as a global shader property with name ID. Passing the same name ID. Any temporary textures. How do I... Wait. Sets it up as a global shader property. So what, wait, is the default ID main text? There's so much lack of documentation here, it's driving me goddamn nuts. So we're gonna compare these. Zero and 1. I don't get this. It actually doesn't make sense. I guess it's literally just like a thing I can just use. What doesn't make any sense is how does it keep this saved to this ID if other, like, what if something else requests this exact same ID? It basically causes a conflict in the temporary render textures. And then right here where it calls dot identifier, what is the difference between dot ID and dot identifier? Doesn't make sense. Alright, let's see if this works. Now I need to add a custom material for the blit pass. I can't remember if I already had a material for that. I guess not. You will make one. Invert the colors. Okay, that's a nice, that's a good example. All I need is something that does something different. So then I think I can set the material here. Oh. Oh. Scriptable renderer. Wait, what? Scriptable render pass. Feature settings. Must be named settings to be shown in the render feature inspector. Oh my god, what a weird system. What a weird system. And there's like no documentation on this. Work? Oh, nice. Okay, I can just do that. So I kind of thought it would actually, so this should mean that it applies here. How do I access the settings? You have to override this. This is so stupid. Oh my god. They have all of this stuff, all these overrides, and it's undocumented. that is convoluted. My god. And part of what I hate about this is you just like blit back and forth between these two textures, just unneeded. So it's actually, I think, more efficient for me to do my own on end camera rendering, and then I can just blit directly back to the screen, because I know it's going to be the last oh, it's down here. So confusing. Yeah, I think this is going to be way more convoluted and actually be a tiny bit slower because of the extra blit. So and I don't think it's working, because if it was, I think it would apply it right here. Yeah, it's not working. It's not applying it. I think maybe after rendering post-processing is what I'm looking for. Oh. Maybe I got what I want, but it's completely black and broken. So wait. Let camera target. Is it just up for me to blit to the screen then? Because if it is, then it's literally like, this is the crazy thing to me. If it's actually just up to me to blit to the screen, there is literally no reason for me to use this instead of that. It's more, instead of just doing it yourself, it's actually more convoluted. It takes more code to do the same thing less efficiently. I don't know what Unity devs were thinking when they designed this system. So that does not work. Maybe after post-processing just doesn't work. Maybe this is a bug. It's broken. It's actually broken. I want my custom render pass to be executed after my pass is executed, but is overwritten by the final pass. Oh my god. Hey Trixo. Facing the same predicament, it's possible to clear after post-process, but there seems to be no way to write back to it. After post is not yet supported in URP. You can still write to whatever target is bound. Actual idiots, dude. They designed this whole scriptable render feature so people could do their custom post-processing, and it doesn't even work for like final post-processing. This is unbelievable. Like I do not know what these people from Unity were thinking when they designed this. Do you use C hashtag? In C#? A bit. Found a workaround which is a bit of hack but gets the job done. Maybe will help others. He used to use 2 cameras and a render texture as an intermediate buffer. So let me try. What if I render to the screen here, it'll just get overwritten. Can you put it before after? Nope, so it just straight up doesn't work. My I mean, maybe I have to do current active. Try all the different settings here. We're trying to get this to invert and basically apply our own custom post-processing effect. I'll try rendering to the screen. Yep, just invert color. Not really for anything specific, we're just trying to get custom post-processing working in Universal Render Pipeline. Yeah, so I think the way after rendering works is, for whatever reason, it just overwrites our post-processing. For whatever reason, flips that sign down and copies it. See, this would be a whole lot easier if there was an actual tutorial on how to do this. Alright, I'll try copying this. It is nuts to me that they don't copy this. Like, you having to do this when you add the renderer passes and set this up is so ridiculous. Like, it defeats the purpose of you having this whole system that's supposed to take care of post-processing for you when you have to take care of it yourself. Is it a render texture or... It's weird, this guy used var here. So I guess it's a render target identifier. Wait, is this color attachment exactly what I'm going for? I'll check if these are equal. Camera color target. Yeah, this isn't bigger freedom though. Like when it literally stops you from doing the things you would just do. So this is the crazy thing. You can do less with this system that takes more code. This that has less code does more and is more modular than this whole system. Just, like, it literally defeats the purpose of what the Unity devs... Like, I actually feel like, you know when people make work for themselves? Like, the whole, like, broken... Like, when a person works at, like, a glass repair shop and they go around smashing windows to make more work. Like, this is literally like Unity devs were like, well, I'll make a job for myself by just creating this whole scriptable render system. Even if it doesn't help people, it at least gives me a job. Like, that's a legit what I feel like the person designing this was thinking, because, like, it's not designed to actually help you do custom render passes. I just want to see if this is true. It's false. Is it true in game view? No, it's still false. So I wonder, I legitimately wonder, without documentation, how did people figure this out? Like, did someone actually go to a Unity dev on Twitter or something and ask about this? Because, like, it's not in the documentation. Like, it's literally not in the documentation anywhere. That's what I don't get. I don't get it. Can you inspect an ID? Yeah, like that's the thing. You can actually go through the code and just slowly figure out what each of these values are. But it's basically like documenting Unity for the Unity developers, which doesn't make sense. Because the whole reason you use Unity, or at least the reason I use Unity and don't just like work on my own engine, is because it's supposed to be like working out of the box, like being documented. Alright, let's hope this works. So we read from the camera color target, and we blit to the camera color target. And it still doesn't work. Oh wait. That's weird. That's weird. It looks like it like partially works. It did something. Okay, let's let me output all green. I want to see how green affects this. It actually just seemed to break stuff. I don't get this. It actually didn't work. It's only applying for certain things. It's actually broken. Like, I don't have like multiply on here or anything, like cull off, Z write, Z test always. It's supposed to color the screen completely green, but instead it's doing this weird tint effect. And I think the reason for the tint effect is from where is it? I think it's from the I gotta be honest, I don't understand it. I do not understand. So okay, here, when I turn off post-processing, it works. So I think yeah. So basically what Unity's doing, I honestly don't know exactly what they're doing, but for some reason my effect is being applied as a multiply pass over opaque objects, not transparent objects like this. Only when post-processing is enabled. I gotta be honest, this just seems completely broken and buggy. Like, I actually just feel like this isn't how it's supposed to function. Which is very concerning for something that's supposed to work just out of the box. And motion blur doesn't work. Maybe because I turned off depth textures. Yeah, I just saw motion blur there and I was like, oh, okay, I want to try and use this. But it doesn't seem like it works. There's no motion blur. Huh. So there's like actually just straight up stuff in the engine right now that is just broken. It just does not work. Yeah, this is very concerning. I just really hate seeing stuff like this in Unity that just straight up doesn't work. So like I'm gonna go and I'm gonna apply the pass in my custom post right here, and I bet it's just gonna work. So that's weird. I disabled it and it still is actually bugging out. Similar to if it's applying. There we go, now it's gone. Okay, so now we put our custom post on here, we attach our material, we attach to the other one. And now it won't give us a preview in here, but oh, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. I hate to see it everywhere. I hate placeholders in large corporation software when this API feature exists in docs and libs, but it does not work when you start using it because it placeholder until someone actually start using it. Yeah, that's... Oh my god. Yeah. So like the ideal way to do this, I think, would be to do end frame rendering, and then it'll work fine in the build because I can just blit to the screen. Lit to screen from the current active. I wonder if Blit just straight up doesn't work. This is so weird because I swear I was just using this and it just worked. I wonder if I have to do it with a buffer and then it'll work. I want that camera descriptor render target. There has to be a way to get the render texture descriptor. Oh my god. Maybe this will work. It says it's a simple non-bloom glow effect. Oh wait, this guy's trying to get it to work. How to get screen buffer render target identifier. This is what I'm going for. It's hard to do stuff with new features, especially when there's so little info. In 2015. Oh god, but it's only gotten worse. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god. You figured out you should do a tutorial? I don't know about that. There has to be a way to get this descriptor. Default format. Ooh. Ooh. This might be what I'm going for. Default format. Yeah. If you complain about not having enough info, I bet someone solved this, just didn't share. Yeah, maybe. I found a few of these and like, this one seems like it would work, but it doesn't work. So this guy does his after rendering. I also do mine after rendering. Doesn't work. Still does not work. I think this will work though. This blitz directly to the screen from our buffer. If anything, it should actually just show a blank screen. Called it. Oh god. So now the eternal question. Why? Why? Alright, let's check if it's actually rendering. We'll put out green. Constant green, so it's not dependent on us actually getting a rendered buffer. I actually don't think there's a way to do custom post-processing effects with Universal Render Pipeline. I do not get it. Unity custom post-processing for Universal Render Pipeline. Okay, so I just brought up a video of how to do this, and it has the exact same code. The video basically just copied the code from this tutorial. And this doesn't work. So let me Google this. Unity scriptable render feature bugged, doesn't work with other post-process. Custom render feature is broken. Notice that my custom render features broke for no apparent reason. Didn't see any breaking changes in the chain log, so I'm kind of wondering what's up. Simplest thing that broke was blitting from the camera texture to a temp texture with an invert material, then blitting back. Any ideas what could be wrong? Had the same issue, same thing. It seems to be a URP bug. Oh my god. Apparently it's not a bug, you can only call camera color target inside the scope of scriptable render pass. Might not have created it, so doing things like setup and add render pass does not work. Actually a fixed blit feature from the example. I think I'm using add pass instead of NQ pass. No, I'm doing NQ pass. So wait, what did they say? An add render passes does not work. Need to be accessed from the pass itself. It's now called draw full screen feature. That's a new. Alright, so I guess okay, this actually doesn't make sense. So like it passes a scriptable renderer here, but we actually need to access it in the execute function. So like it doesn't actually pass us it in the execute function where we need it. And I'm guessing this isn't even going to fix the bug. Nope, still bugged. Still bugged. Fuck Unity, man. Like, you know what? Not fuck Unity. Unity 5, Unity 8 years ago was great. Stable, worked out of the box. Sure, it didn't have the highest quality lighting. Sure. There were some pretty bad asset store things, but at least shit worked. Oh my god. Oh my god. So, like, I legitimately wonder if the same thing... So if you notice in this guy's post-processing effect, his is actually just tinting the color. Like, I guess it's inverting here. Use the unlit master for output. Texture with exposed mean text. Immediately see it as an effect. Alright, let's just try one thing. Blend off. Blend off should be on by default, but... Not gonna lie, your stream does not motivate me to try Unity. Yeah, not surprised. So, like, just to be clear, all of this works if I disable the built-in post-processing. It actually functions correctly. I think this is the most triggering part about it, is that, like, it actually works if I don't have Unity's built-in post-processing on. And so, like, they have this value here after rendering post-processing so that you can apply this after. But then here we are, it doesn't actually do anything different. It actually is, like, mind-bogglingly broken. So, like, the last thing I feel like trying is after rendering transparents and after rendering skybox. Like, maybe after rendering isn't actually after rendering. Maybe after rendering transparents is actually... Oh my god, it works. Holy shit. It works. So, it works, it's just horribly undocumented. Just horribly undocumented. Like, literally the documentation does not explain that after rendering transparents is actually the last pass. Oh my god. Wait. The reflection isn't inverted. What? Wait. Wait, maybe the reflection's inverted, and then it's inverted again. Because the reflection has the inversion applied, right? Like if I just... Because the inverse of an inverse undoes the inverse, so in the reflection it's being inverted when it's rendered. But like, wait, can you turn off render features per camera? Because otherwise that could cause some huge issues. Like, for example, I don't want this being applied to my reflection probes. Like, I don't want this being applied to reflection probe cameras. Execute filters, let you select which objects. Material, selecting this lets you override field of view, position offset. So I don't think there's anything about limiting this to specific cameras. Unless maybe if rendering data dot camera. I think is default viewport is what I'm going for, so only apply this if the camera is the... I need to use the camera data to check if it's the main camera. Render feature main camera only. Yep, you can actually see it's inverted in the reflection probe. God damn it. So they give you this whole custom method for applying post-processing effects, but who the fuck wants to apply post-processing effects to the reflection probes? Like, actually. Oh my god. Like, dude, imagine applying bloom to your reflection probe. To your baked reflection probe. Imagine applying that. Imagine doing chromatic aberration. Like, I actually don't get what they were thinking when they designed this. How to add layer mask to custom render feature. No, that's not not the type of filtering I want to do. So using this is scene view camera. Oh my god, I need to check if post-processing is enabled. But then it doesn't let me check it here, so you end up allocating stuff for things that aren't used. Wait, HDR. This shouldn't have post-processing on it, I don't think. There we go. Oh my god, the hoops you have to jump through just to do basic stuff. 1 hour and 40 minutes just to get a blit to the screen working. Just to get a full screen post-processing effect. And like, the thing is, like, you do the thing where you're like, this is my fault. I'm stupid because I can't understand that after rendering transparent is actually after rendering. It's like, I feel stupid because I spent an hour and a half going through something that a Unity developer should have spent 30 seconds documenting and just writing down that this is what this means. Well, you need to figure it out once and then you just use it because you know. That's the thing. I don't know, though. I forget things. Like, that's the thing why I write documentation for my own code. Because, like, I know that you forget things. It's like, oh my god, if you inspect that enum, is it written there? That is a very good question. No, it actually... See, this is actually really weird, because normally the number would represent the order. So this is actually, the enum's actually even more fucked. So the enum would have you think that after rendering is executed last, because it's the last biggest number, like in the order of beginning, starting at before, and then working all the way to the end of after rendering. I could have thought it's supposed to be in the order of these numbers, but then that doesn't explain why after rendering is broken. Doesn't after rendering mean when it's done? I mean, that's the thing, though. I'm trying to, like, rendering the whole effect. That's the thing, though. I'm trying to apply it as a final effect. Like, I'm trying to apply it at the end, which is after rendering, after everything else is done. But you cannot render after rendering. Yeah, you can. The after rendering just means after the universal render pipeline is done rendering. Like, this just means after Unity's done doing their rendering, you can still do all of your own custom rendering. And that's exactly where you want to put custom post-processing effects, is at the end of the post-processing pipeline. Are you sure? Well, I mean, like, what are you saying? Are you saying that, like, there's all of a sudden a point where you just can't render things? And, like, so then, are you suggesting that they give you a callback for after rendering when you can't actually render anything there? Because that would actually be, like, kind of self-defeating. Like, completely self-defeating. Like, the fact of the matter is, when I do after rendering, and it partially applies, and then if I do after rendering transparent and it fully applies, it's fairly obvious that after rendering transparent is actually being applied after. And see, this is weird. Now it's not even doing anything. 0. No rendering effect. Even when post-processing is off. So then after post-processing should cause this to partially work. Nope, literally just doesn't work at all. After rendering transparent. Now it works. Now it works. I seriously think there's probably a way to do it It's just that like Unity hasn't documented it all, and so there's like, let's see if I can bring it back up, about color render target being broken in the latest versions. I think this is the huge issue. Is the fact that like this they changed this so that you can't access camera color render target, and it only works basically like it only works in certain, it says it can only be accessed from the pass itself, but what I take from this is that they're only making this texture available during a certain section of the pipeline, which most likely is only between these after rendering transparents and after that. But like, it's just crazy having to jump through hoops like this just to get a very simple thing rendering to the screen. And then the other crazy thing is that this system, which is actually like technically easier to use and just sort of works in a way, this actually throws errors when you use it in the console, even though it works. So like this, way less code, actually more efficient because it doesn't use the extra blitz that Unity's internal post-processing is doing. But then, if I enable this, and if I go in here, oh, it doesn't work. Huh, okay, wait a minute. I wonder if just blit is the only thing that works here. Like, that seems crazy to me that context, using the, it tells you to use the scriptable render context, but the scriptable render context doesn't actually work. It just seems so wrong. Like, the things they tell you work doesn't work, and then the old thing that they tell you not to use anymore does work. Yeah, so here we go. So here it's applying as our own custom post-processing effect, but if you see, hold on, it doesn't work. It's not, so like if you go and click anything, it doesn't render correctly because this end frame rendering is like after, it's like actually the end of the rendering for even the editor. So when you click out a game view, it's actually rendering all this other GUI, so it doesn't have the correct camera setup. It's like, it's actually like they designed this whole new system for you to make render effects and custom post-processing, and it's actually worse than the old system and less modular, which is just like, I'm gonna go get some water. Just let this fly around and you guys can see the 230 FPS. The other thing that drives me crazy about this is if I go and build this, build the project, it'll actually run at like 3K FPS. The editor just limits the FPS massively, which is so like, when you're trying to actually get a benchmark of how something's running, capping the FPS is not what you want. All right, I'm going to wash dishes. Oh, okay, Trixo. All right, so now I want to try to read the depth texture. So I think I'm going to do this. I think if I just use the custom render pass feature, it'll actually be better for this because it'll be rendering along with the camera, so it'll get this the depth texture as long as I have it enabled. Okay. Oh wait, but this doesn't have any of the camera matrix or anything. I guess maybe I don't necessarily need 3D data for the effect I'm trying to do, but oh my god, that's still so... Depth texture. Depth texture sampling when rendering to a render texture. I'm assuming that you can just access the last vertex outputs to an O from depth texture I. As it refers to the camera's primary depth texture, you can use last camera depth texture for the last depth texture rendered by any camera. I can't remember. How do you read Unity read depth texture? I believe I use decode I depth or linear 0,1 depth, but I don't know what I is. You know what? The forums suck. Other people don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I somehow still managed to know more than a bunch of these people on the Unity forum. So, like, let's just go and look at the source code. I am legit thinking of making my own render pipeline now. Like, it is crazy to me that Unity can have this many issues as something that's just supposed to work out of the box. Linear eye depth. Okay, so this literally just decodes a Z value. Okay. how do I sample the depth texture? Like, don't I actually need, wait. Sample depth. No. Here we go. Is this guy doing it in HLSL? Is that why it's different? Yeah, he's doing it in HLSL. Like the fact that Unity's also split their shading language between two different things. Undeclared identifier. Sample depth texture. Depth texture. Oh. It didn't throw errors. Wow, it actually worked. So there we go, we have depth. I'm actually upset about this though. I'm like, the lack of control over the post-processing is just so concerning. So like, for example, I kind of want SMAA to be applied. After this effect, but then I would have to do my effect before post-processing. So like, this means I won't be able to have anti-aliasing, which is just like, it's a really stupid thing trying to like this whole dealing with this whole system that's supposed to make things more modular and more customizable, and then you can't have it be modular. It stops you from doing one thing or the other, like having anti-aliasing or doing a custom post effect. What if I do after rendering opaques? Then it probably won't work for the stuff on the grass here. Okay. That's actually a really nice compromise. So it bugs out in the editor, but our transparent objects are being rendered, and then we actually have anti-aliasing. So we could actually apply the anti-aliasing on top of our post-processing effect, as long as all of our objects are opaque. And then it won't apply it to the skybox either, which is potentially an issue. Dude, I actually hate this. Like, I'm struggling with a system. I'm struggling to make modular a system whose purpose was designed to make rendering modular. Like, absolutely fucking stupid. Absolutely stupid. I mean, I'm pretty happy that I've got this worked out. I can read the depth texture and do this. I guess, so the one thing I do want to try to figure out is how do I reproject world position from this? Because I should be able to. I've seen other things about getting the projection matrix here. But I mean, I should be able to reproject the depth myself. I wonder if object to world is what I need. Let's try. No, so that's right in front of the camera. So I think this is what I actually saw right here. In this, he calculates the inverse projection himself and then passes that along so you can do the perspective. The fact that Unity doesn't pass this along to you is just so dumb. Like, there's all this stuff that's supposed to be making your life easier, and it's almost the opposite. Camera to world matrix. I could swear this is actually... I guess I can always invert this. I've got to look at I actually think I did something close to this when I was doing the cartoon render pipeline the other day. When I got these values from what was it? Unity camera to world matrix. There we go. So there actually is a camera to world matrix. So it's actually not listed here. So actually undocumented. Maybe it's not set here. No. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to pass this in if we want that. What if I use the projection matrix here? Oh my god, it doesn't give me any way to get the camera, I don't think. Does it have the matrices here? Okay, we can access the camera. And then what if I can just access this in the projection matrix now? Nope. Huh. Set matrix, camera, camera to world matrix. This guy's actually doing it very similar to me. Oh, this guy made a custom post-process effect. what's not working about this. Null inverse projection. Times far. Inverse view, V position. So it's kind of working now, but it's still bugged. It's not supposed to be changing color like that as it turns. I guess maybe compute view space position. It's probably the wrong one. What is the enum before after rendering? What do you mean? Before? Oh, POS. I just realized I'm normalizing this twice. I think this takes in vertex. Huh. Vertex. Output position. Compute view space position. My God. It's so much code just to do something so simple of just getting world space direction. Just getting world space direction. It makes it so much more difficult than it needs to be. take care and don't kill it. I don't know. Bye-bye. Huh. Straight up doesn't work. It's doing a full screen triangle. So it is -3. I guess multiplying by far might be an important part. No. That shouldn't make a difference because it should just be the same regardless of if it's normalized. Let's just make sure this camera inverse projection is the same thing that we set. Set inverse view. No, it's not the same thing. Unity must set this themselves. I've been bamboozled. So Unity just has a whole bunch of undocumented This doesn't make sense. More undocumented shit. Redefinition. Yeah, so they just got these hidden variables. Alright, interesting. It's not still not correct. It's like it's not being set, which would make sense. Well, it does make sense because, like I thought, I didn't think Unity set that for you. You can try setting the projection matrix. if set global matrix doesn't work. So I guess I'll try passing ODOT vertex through this. Nope. So like it's definitely changing this matrix. Oh, I wonder if because it's in world space position, I need to subtract world space camera position. Since it's camera to world. Oh, wait. It's still bugging out. I might have to like divide by W or something here. No. So what is this weird buggy circle going through? And why does it seem like the projection is being applied twice? Now this is closer. Camera to world. So we've got 1 and 1. which I guess may be multiplied by projection params. Doesn't make any difference. Normalized by W, which might not even be needed. No, it's needed. And subtract from the world space position, so we get the direction based off the center. I guess this doesn't include the clipping, or what I don't understand is how even copying this tutorial on the inverse projection doesn't work. I think I actually did this in my little spaceship runner. Let me see if I can bring up the shader. I think I actually deleted the shader. So then what is inverse view used for? Compute view space position. This shader actually doesn't make sense. So this is converting so this is projecting the vertex. But then we need the inverse to world. Oh my god, it's actually fucked. So then from that direction, multiply that ray by the depth. And then you invert it. Oh my god, it's so much to do so little. Almost looks correct now. Except for this buggy band in the middle. Times projection params. Times var dot xyz. Mul inverse projection. Oh, I need to subtract the world space camera position still. Wait, I thought I did. No, it's still bugged. And I don't think it's normalized because of this big black area. Which doesn't make sense because I'm normalizing it. Oh, wait. I'm not multiplying it. Yeah, no, there's still this distortion right here. Huh. I do not know. Camera to world. I wonder if this inverse projection is something that's only available in HLSL, and if I do it here, it literally doesn't work. What if I take this out and I just do still has that buggy mark. I actually don't get this. I do not get this. Vertex position equals xy times far. This inverse view is the camera to world matrix that we already set up. Yeah, I actually don't think this works. There's something bugged somewhere in the Unity pipeline. So like, this actually doesn't make sense. Because in my cartoon render pipeline, I literally did this. by rent. Like the fact that you can't do this correctly literally doesn't make sense. Like maybe it's that you need the object to world matrix, but like I get the direction here from the object to world matrix, but the camera to world matrix should handle this here. Maybe that's exactly what I need, is the camera's local to world matrix. No, because that still doesn't cover the correct projection. So like the way that Unity only encodes the matrices you need to do the reprojection if you're rendering an object, but it doesn't do that if you're blitting to the screen, is absolutely horrible. Like, so bad. You have to jump through so many hoops just to do simple shit, and it seems like even with this it doesn't work, which just doesn't make sense. Like I'm thinking it's this camera inverse projection isn't provided in CG, it's only provided in HLSL. But that's like, oh my god, Unity splitting their shader programming between two things. I think I might try copying this and see if it works in HLSL. Hold on, I'm gonna go get more water and then we'll do that. We'll try it. Alright. Gonna try one more thing. I'm gonna try passing these in manually. And if that doesn't work, fuck Unity. Oh my god, I think it doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work. What is this? What is this shining thing in the middle of the view? Wait, does it work now? I'm so confused. It actually kind of looks like it's working right now. But at the same time, it's so hard to tell because it obviously doesn't work properly in the scene. But in the game view, it actually looks alright. Oh no, it's definitely... Okay, so what I need to do is I need to actually display this as world position. And this will give me an actually really good sense. Something just blew past my window. It was probably just like a bag or something, but like really close. No, yeah, this is definitely screen space. Depth buffer reprojection doesn't work. Oh, wait. I'm not applying depth. Z equals sample depth texture, and your 0, 1 depth. And then multiply that by the inverse view to get the world position. Nope, that's definitely bugged. It looks kind of cool, but it's completely broken and it's not doing the thing that projection matrices should do. Maybe it does something with the world position. Source color. Nope. Nope, according to that, this should work. Wait, do you have to call get GPU projection matrix? They no longer work as intended. Command buffer.blit has weird UVs. To view math needs to be done to correctly reverse the projection. I wonder if I have to do GL dot. Get GPU projection matrix. Some platforms, they have to be transformed. Oh my god. We have to use this. Get GPU projection matrix. I actually feel like there's bugs in this engine. Oh my god, does it actually work? No, it's kind of bugging out. So it's not rotating correctly now. But we're actually closer. I'm guessing most of it is just what's wrong with my inverse cam matrix. It's weird how it does the inverse of the world to camera matrix, because we have the camera to world matrix and that should just do the same thing. But maybe it doesn't. That's weird. Like, it seems to act pretty normally. Then when once it gets to a certain angle, it works fine. But so this guy's looks like it works. But converting just the inverse view matrix like this shouldn't be all it takes. You should either also need to add the world position, or as you can see here, it's not rotated directly. Huh. So this guy's example just straight up doesn't work. Ain't this something? Based on Unity's built-in particle add shader. Yeah, this already has the object matrices, which does it. Yep, same issue as me. It's moving. Yeah, and this doesn't work. This literally doesn't provide the correct matrices. Oh my god. The amount of like misinformation these days. Oh my god, this doesn't show how to get world space. This shows how to get world space in an actual shader, not in a post-processing effect. Like, what is this magic matrix that they're applying? It's just multiplying things by 2? Like, what? It's multiplying it by the part of the projection matrix. Oh my god. Try doing this though. World to camera matrix times the projection matrix, and then the inverse of that. And then what are these magic numbers that they're changing? Like, that's my crazy thing, is if you actually have to go in and add little modifications to Unity's matrices to get this to work, then their matrices are broken. Like, or they're not using projection matrices properly. This is so dumb. I do not think this is going to work because I don't think this is how projection and view matrices work, but might as well try. And this doesn't work at all. This is nuts to me. How many answers on, like, I don't even think these people are wrong. I feel like Unity has just changed so many things that none of these answers apply anymore, even though like it still applies, if that makes sense. Projection matrix times world to camera matrix. Is world to camera matrix just wrong? Like, I'm actually curious. Because I just feel like at this point, like, there's no way that it's this fucked up. Divided by d.w, that's new. No, it's definitely still active.
I am impressed.
Hey, thanks for the follow. Inverse camera times depth normalized. Like, all I can think of is that this is actually wrong. But that's not, like, it's a matrix. It should just work. got mat times view mat, view projection matrix. Oh my God. I wonder if this is like, for whatever reason, it only gives you direction. I don't think so. I think this is just completely bugged, but let's try it. No, like I actually think that this inverse cam must be wrong. Because this just, it doesn't seem right. Same projection times view matrix. World to camera matrix, set global. I just wonder if it doesn't work. Something in Unity is just bugged. Oh my god, compute world space position. What? I don't think this is only in core.hlsl. It's not in CG include. I actually think this is gonna kill me. Like, I'm sorry, but whatever Unity developers designed, their custom render pipeline and their shader system, you designed a horrible system that does not help people who are trying to write custom shaders or trying to make custom render features. If anything, it makes it more complicated and more convoluted. Like, this is horrible. Yeah, so I'm guessing this compute world space position isn't available in Unity CG. Does the search not work or what? Core.hlsl should be there. Because it's sure as hell not in the built-in shaders anymore. They don't have any of the HLSL stuff here. It's all CG includes. So like the absolute fucking state of Unity, dude. Like the absolute state of Unity is a joke. So where is the source code for this core.hlsl? Or is Unity... Oh my god, is it common? So their search bar literally doesn't work. Like, what the fuck is this, dude? Common.hlsl. Nothing. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking joking me, Unity? Like, are you actually kidding me? Your own shitty fucking editor can't find your own files. My god. Okay, compute clip space position, inverse view projection matrix. Wait, this is basically what I was doing. What? Object to clip position. I don't think this is properly set though when I'm doing a blit shader. That's my issue. Doesn't say anything about blitting here. But it does seem like this is in a screen space shader, so I can hope. Is this really the same mul inverse projection matrix divided by W? Yeah, undeclared identifier, that's what I thought. So is that declared customly in here? It's not even declared in here. So where are the matrices? This doesn't make sense. Where are the unity variables declared? So let's check the Unity built-in variables. I know that IVP isn't listed here. Maybe it expects us to just do inverse like this, but there's no inverse function, so yeah. So are these like no longer declared anymore? It's just expected that they're going to be there. Like they don't actually declare the variables. They're just like included in the shaders automatically. It's so fucking bad. Like the state of Unity's graphics like where the hell are the matrices declared? I have actually looked through the whole source code for D3D11 and validate and macros. The only thing I haven't looked through is random. Are you going to tell me they're actually going to put matrices in random? No, they just put a bunch of functions. So, like, literally can't find the matrices that, like, I do not get what the Unity developers were thinking when they designed this universal render pipeline and scriptable render pipeline system. It's such a fucking mess. It's ridiculous. Like, ridiculously bad. Like, there's so much code that does so little. Holy shit. And, like, you can't even do shit with it because it's not documented. Let's see if this brings up anything. Like, this is crazy. So I actually think I'm done with Unity. Like, I need to stop using Unity. It's such a shitty engine. So look at this. In their tutorial, it tells you to use Unity Matrix IVP, Inverse View Projection Matrix. If you go to their built-in variables, there's actually no inverse view projection. It tells you to use a built-in variable that isn't actually there. Oh my god. Yeah, I need to stop using this engine. It's gonna kill me with its lack of documentation. But, like, that's the huge issue, is this. I actually feel like the state of game development is deteriorating. I say that as I have a completely purple screen from Unity shaders not working. Fucking classic. This is just so disappointing because you know a bunch of Unity devs put in a whole bunch of effort to this system. Let's see if this has anything helpful. So it looks like this guy multiplies it by a GPU orthographic matrix. Yeah, fuck Unity. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me struggle with Unity. This might be my last Unity stream. Might not be. We will see. Like, on one aspect, like I said, like, I feel like I want to struggle through and figure out how to use this stuff, but on the other hand, Unity's code recently has been so undocumented and so bad, it seriously just makes me want to flee the engine. which is really bad because Unity has previously been a pretty high quality engine that just works out of the box. But in the past few years, I cannot say that the engine works out of the box. Alright, I'll see you around. Bye-bye.